So I went down to Sandpoint, Idaho, and I tell you, the Idaho Panhandle is a beautiful and underrated region to visit, by the way. The lakes rival anything the Okanagan has to offer, and it's only a short drive from Alberta. So there's my plug for Sandpoint, Idaho, but I really mean it. It's great down there. Now, in heading south, I was at the American border crossing for a little more than a few minutes. The cars ahead of me flowed through the border quickly, and I wasn't asked much more than the standard questions, such as how long I'd be staying and the purpose of my visit, and then I was waved through. Nothing else, nothing more. Returning to Canada, though, was a different story. The lineup of cars stretched for kilometers up the highway. We languished in our car for well over an hour as the line inched agonizingly slowly towards the border. There were 4 stations open at the border crossing, and usually that's more than enough to handle the traffic, even on weekends. So why was it going so slowly? It's because they were messing around verifying everybody's vaccine status. Now, there's an ArriveCAN app, and it works well for those who are vaccinated and have set it up. When we finally actually got to the border crossing, our vaccine status was established quickly, and we were through within a couple of minutes. Clearly, though, many haven't set up the app, and a number of people, of course, aren't going to get vaccinated. And the verification has to rely on paper and as another means of proof, or the person is pulled aside and slapped with a pile of quarantine and testing requirements. And Canadian airports, of course, are even worse right now. It's a ridiculous song and dance at the border, and it isn't making anybody any safer. It's just another facet of the government's obsession with trying to harass people into getting vaccinated. A vaccination doesn't do anything to stop the spread of COVID-19. That's no longer conjecture. It's well-established medical fact. Blocking the unvaccinated or forcing them to endure rounds of testing and quarantining is not slowing or stopping any viral spread, and it's coming with a heavy cost for Canadians in the hospitality and tourism sector. Now, while I was down in Idaho, we attended a large annual antique car show. It's a great thing. It was a great time. We saw some fantastic automobiles throughout the streets. They did the whole downtown up. Not a single electric car was to be found, of course. I don't think our grandchildren are going to be attending shows to admire classic Chevy Volts, but I digress. The other noteworthy sight was the number of Canadian license plates on cars in the area. BC and Alberta plates made up probably about a quarter of the plates around town. Thousands of Canadians had come down for the weekend, and it was serving the town well. Restaurants and pubs were bustling, hotels were full, and stores did great trade. It was nice seeing so many people out and about, enjoying themselves and spending some money. Also, in my anecdotal license plate studies, I noted that pretty much every vehicle languishing with me in the border lineup to return to Canada was Canadian. There was hardly an American plate to be seen. Due to having family down there, I've made this trip dozens of times over the years, and I've never seen such a dearth of American plates heading up to visit Canada. The bottom line is we're too expensive and we're too much of a pain in the ass to visit. Our vaccination requirements eliminate a number of potential visitors, while the testing and other requirements discourage others from bothering. While some might dismiss these things as trivial inconveniences, those inconveniences are keeping untold numbers of American visitors from coming to Canada, and it's costing us a fortune. You can't beat tourist dollars for economic stimulus. Foreigners are literally bringing money from elsewhere here and spreading it around our businesses. Tourism directly employed nearly 1 million Canadians, indirectly almost 2 million Canadians when that's brought into account back in 2019. The economic benefit was about $20 billion. It's big business, and we're cutting deeply into it for no discernible benefit. The weather's warming, and there's millions of tourists, not just in the United States, around the world, and they're eager to visit Canada and spend money here. Our economy's taken a beating this last few years, and it's ridiculous that we're hindering our recovery by stubbornly clinging to these vaccine mandates. This is going to be the 3rd summer since COVID-19 appeared in the world. We've already decimated our tourism sector with lockdowns over the last 2 summers. Let's open the doors and let the tourism sector recover. We got businesses continuing to close permanently while foreign tourists are finding new world destinations to visit. They might not come back. Let's end the pointless mandates now.